This is ABC7 News at 5. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Good evening, I'm Haley Wilkes.
And I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks for being with us this evening. Our top story, a series of car burglaries at one Sarasota County dog park and some park goers concerned and warning others.
ABC7's Kate Flexter shows us what law enforcement says you can do to avoid becoming a victim of these crimes.
A recent rash of break-ins here at the 17th Street Paw Park has some calling for stricter video surveillance, and the sheriff's office warning park goers to be aware.
I never in a million years thought of this as being unsafe. Not ever.
Judith Justin describes the dog park as generally safe and comfortable.
You know, you get to know people and you see the same people all the time, so you become very comfortable.
That's why she was shocked on Thursday when she found her car window smashed and her purse that was hidden in the back seat stolen. It was one of two incidents like it at the park and one of several in the area.
I lost everything. I lost my ID, I lost my social security card, I lost all of my credit cards.
Lieutenant Dave Scott, who's in charge of crime prevention for the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office, says this type of crime is fairly common, particularly close to the interstate and in places where someone might be prone to leaving their valuables in their car.
We have a lot of organized crime groups around the state that travel the state, and they target these type of areas, parks and gyms.
Deputies specifically patrol parks and parking lots, but Lieutenant Scott says the best thing to do is obvious, keeping valuables out of plain sight.
If they see it, then they know they're going to get it. So if you can hide it, preferably in the secured trunk. If not, if you don't have a trunk, if you can cover it with a blanket or a towel or a jacket, something like that.
That's exactly what Justin suggests.
You'll always be mindful of protecting yourself and your belongings, absolutely. And I will not be lackadaisical ever again.
Right now, Justin and a few others are putting together a petition to call for stricter video surveillance here at the dog park. Reporting in Sarasota, Kate Flexter, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Kate, thank you. An update now on a Bradenton man facing 3 counts of first-degree murder charges. Andres Avalos making a quick court appearance in a Manatee County courtroom today. Detectives say in 2014, Avalos killed his wife and her friend in northwest Bradenton, then went to her pastor's church on US 41 and killed the pastor there. Today, his defense attorneys wanted the judge to remove the possibility of the death penalty, but no decision was made. Judge Diana Moreland spoke with attorneys about the timing of choosing a jury and trial starting later this spring.
And court will at this time still reserve. We'll make an attempt to get a jury in this particular case, and at that time we certainly can without prejudice.
Again, no decision was made on a defense request to remove the chance of death if Avalos is convicted. The trial is set to start here on May 4th.
The city of Venice is looking at spending millions of dollars to remove potentially harmful lime, and the price of the project just keeps going up. Many years ago, Pine Brook Park was a water treatment facility. Leftover lime has been on the property ever since. The city wants to remove the lime to open up the land. However, after 2 years of discussion, the price of the cleanup keeps going up. In 2016, the price for removing the lime was $2.3 million. Now the price has jumped to more than $3 million of taxpayer money.
When time passes, when you're putting the bids together to giving the contractors, prospective contractors, an opportunity to respond to the request for bid, time passes and their costs increase.
Another option rather than removal would be to cover the lime with several feet of full dirt, but the city did not favor that idea when it was brought up last year.
We regularly report on panthers being hit and killed by cars, but today we have some exciting news in the Florida population and conservation efforts. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission says there are at least 2 Florida panther kittens north of the Caloosahatchee River in southwest Florida. The FWC believes the kittens are the offspring of the first wild female panther documented north of the river since 1973. Until now, the FWC did not have any evidence of panthers breeding in that area. The agency says this is a major milestone on the road to recovery for the Florida panther. Very exciting.
Very exciting, yeah. And for a check on our forecast, which is pretty warm, let's head over to Bob.
Yeah, good news on that front, and the news that we have to keep an eye on, however, throughout that area, southwest Florida, all of Florida for that matter, the dry conditions. We could use some rainfall to help things out. Brush fire season is here. We saw that last week, evidence of that fire. Now we have 78 degrees right now, clear skies. The dew point really quite low at 57 degrees right now, and the humidity at 48%. Quite comfortable out there. West winds are at 14. Things a little bit cooler inside that sea breeze. Outside of it, still pretty warm. The forecast through this evening calling for mild conditions. Temperatures falling into the mid-60s by 11 o'clock tonight under generally fair skies. Now, there is a cold front that is moving through parts of the southeast right now, producing some rough weather in Mississippi and Alabama. This is all a severe thunderstorm watch in the areas in yellow, and there are some severe thunderstorms taking place right now. These, again, these areas that you see in orange, all indicating severe thunderstorms taking place with winds at 60 miles an hour with some of those cells. We'll have more in our forecast, let you know if any rain is in it coming up in a few minutes. Back to you.
Thank you, Bob. Another busy day in Washington from a new White House announcement on sanctuary cities to a pause on the Supreme Court nominee. Democrats and Republicans all looking at shifting alliances in the wake of the failed health care bill. ABC's Lana Zach is following all of those developments.
Disregard for law must end.
Attorney General Jeff Sessions warned sanctuary cities comply with the president's orders on immigration or lose Justice Department grants.
When cities and states refuse to help enforce immigration laws, our nation is less safe.
Even though the Obama administration had a similar policy, that message is unlikely to be seen as an olive branch to Democrats, who the White House now may be courting in the wake of Friday's failure on health care. Nonetheless, White House spokesman Sean Spicer says President Trump is open to collaboration.
There's been a lot of outreach from members of both sides with ideas, and the president's willing to listen.
The president tweeted a rebuke to conservative members of his own party after they thwarted his health care plans. But now the spokesperson for the Freedom Caucus is hitting back, tweeting, "Governing doesn't mean passing bad policy. The AHCA was poorly rolled out, pushed through on an artificial deadline, and bad for American families." Meanwhile, in the Senate, the vote on Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch is being delayed following threats of a Democratic filibuster. And another White House official will soon be headed up to the Hill.
Jared served as the official primary point of contact with foreign governments and officials.
Jared Kushner, the president's son-in-law, has volunteered to speak with the Senate Intelligence Committee on their ongoing investigation into Russia and the Trump administration.
We've made some contacts. I'd be glad to explain them.
Republicans and Democrats now may be headed towards a confrontation over the budget. A potential government shutdown now just 1 month away. Lana Zach, ABC News, Washington.
And ABC7 business commentator Richard Stern is joining us now with a moral victory of sorts on Wall Street. Richard.
Haley, you're exactly right. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was down by more than 180 points not too long after the opening this morning, so a loss of less than 50 points is a moral victory in my book. Do remember, last week we were down every single day. The Dow Jones Industrial Average had been down 7 days in a row, so today makes it 8 days in a row, but we actually did have a mixed market. As you're about to see, one of the indices we follow every day actually finished in positive territory. Let's take a look at the figures. There you go. The Dow Jones Industrial Average down 46 points, 22/100%, closing at 20,550.98. That on volume of 688 million shares. And that up arrow is correct, up 0.2%. The NASDAQ up more than 11.5 points, 5,840.37. That on volume of 1,709 million shares. And the S&P hardly moved at all, down just 2.5 points, 0.1%, closing at 2,341.59. Well, if you're in the furniture, the appliance business, you better get ready, because Amazon announced that they are going to take a very serious look at opening, heaven forbid, Amazon, a brick and mortar store to sell appliances, particularly things like refrigerators, freezers, and washing machines. Their rationale, because remember, they're basically getting everybody out of the brick and mortar business. Their rationale is that things like that really need to be touched and seen, and they have virtual reality, which basically, much like HGTV, will show you exactly how this furniture might look in your own home. So if you're in the furniture business, or if you're looking to buy some furniture, you just may have another outlet available, and it's a big one.
Things changing rapidly in
Always.
that part of the business world. What are you expecting for tomorrow then, Richard?
Well, Scott, I remember an old TV show on ABC in the late 70s with Dick Van Patten called 8 is Enough. We've been down 8 days in a row. That's the longest down streak since 2011. And as far as I'm concerned, 8's enough.
All right, sounds good. We'll see you tomorrow.
You got it.
Thank you, Richard.
You're welcome.
We now know a little more tonight about the new owners of the DeSoto Square Mall. According to records filed in Manatee County, the mall was sold for $25.5 million in late February. DeSoto Square Mall LLC sold to the mall to DeSoto Owners LLC. Both are New York-based companies. This is the mall's fourth owner since it opened back in 1973. In recent years, the mall has struggled to keep stores open. In Bradenton. Still to come tonight in your Suncoast News, a shooting spree in Central Florida. What information police in Sanford are releasing now about the man accused of shooting 6 people.
And ABC7 Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your full weather forecast. And then later in Health Smart, getting ready for mosquito season, what the state is doing now to make sure we're prepared for another possible Zika outbreak.
There's a whole new way to bank with Achieva Checking Plus. You get new features like cell phone protection for 3 phones, plus an interest-bearing account. And that's good to know. Discover all the benefits at AchievaCU.com. Achieva, banking for good. Achieva Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
With a top prize of $10 million, the new $10 million world-class cash scratch-off from the Florida Lottery is your ticket to take on the world. $10 million world-class cash scratch-off from the Florida Lottery. One of our life-changing scratch-offs offering billions in cash prizes.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
The Sarasota Film Festival is March 31st through April 9th, featuring independent films from around the world, panels, parties, and conversations with stars, all happening in downtown Sarasota.
You don't want to miss it, so get your festival guide and choose the films and events you want to attend.
Buy your tickets online, by phone, or at the Hollywood 20 box office. They go fast, so get them now.
So join us to see and be seen.
Attention sleep apnea sufferers. If you use CPAP therapy, if you have private insurance, or you're on a Medicare replacement plan, we may be able to help you get your CPAP supplies at little or no cost to you, and free shipping. Most insurance companies allow a patient to get a new CPAP mask, cushion, filter, and tubing every 3 to 6 months to prevent respiratory infection and skin sores.
That's why you should call Americare CPAP. Call 800-423-5457. That's 800-423-5457.
There's a whole new way to bank with Achieva Checking Plus. You get new features like full ID theft protection, and that's good to know. Discover all the benefits at AchievaCU.com. Achieva, banking for good. Achieva Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
A shooting spree in Sanford, Florida leaves 1 dead and at least 5 others injured, including 2 young children.
According to the Sanford Police Department, the shooting happened between a woman and her boyfriend over a property dispute. The boyfriend, Alan Cash, fatally shot Latina Herring before turning the gun on her 2 young sons. The suspect then left the scene and shot 2 innocent bystanders at a different location. One of those bystanders was a high school student waiting for a bus.
Again, I can't stress enough that this scene is one of the worst scenes our investigators and officers have ever responded to. To walk into a residence and find 2 young juveniles shot, 2 adults shot, 1 person that's now deceased, all 6 victims in critical condition. It's horrific.
5 remain now in critical condition. Cash was caught and taken into custody a short time later.
The names of 2 of last year's deadly hurricanes will never be used again. Matthew and Otto officially retired after causing death and destruction last summer. Starting in the year 2022, the names Martin and Owen will replace them. Names get retired when a storm is so deadly or destructive that future use of its name would be insensitive. Hurricane Matthew caused 585 deaths, including more than 500 in Haiti before it made landfall in Cuba, the Bahamas, and South Carolina. Heavy rainfall and flooding from Hurricane Otto caused 18 deaths in Central America. Not into season yet, but we're glad to welcome back Bob Harrigan, fresh off a spring vacation.
Yeah. Right, I was down there near Central America in Honduras,
right.
just to the north of Nicaragua, where that storm Otto hit. And the next storm for this season, the first one will be Arlene. So that's the next name. And the World Meteorological Organizations get together and they decide on these names and retire them every 6 years. They have a list of names for the next 6 years. So those names are already established, and you just saw right there, they've retired 2 of them. Hermine, not retire because it wasn't that devastating. They do it on based on devastation and deaths. We are looking at beautiful weather here right now. Van Way's a webcam showing fair skies across the region and calm conditions out there on the sea, and that's a result of basically of a large area of high pressure off the east coast. There is a cold front, we talked about it earlier, moving through parts of the southeast. You can see it right there across parts of Mississippi and Alabama, but the headlines read like this: a warm week through this week. Temperatures will be above average as they have been today. A chance to rain comes on Friday as a weak frontal system gets close to us. Now, it's not going to cool us down much at all. And then the weekend looks pretty good. Once the front gets out of here, we'll start to see high pressure build back in rather quickly. You can see from the satellite and radar review, nothing to show you. Things are fairly quiet here. A weak area of cloudiness right there moving through the eastern Gulf of Mexico. The heavier storms are located to our north right now. And as far as that goes, we are going to continue to see that pattern. It appears right on in through much of this week. Now, as far as the overall picture goes, we are looking at the winds to stay out of the west through this evening with that sea breeze developing. But you'll notice what happens by the evening hours. It starts to turn more easterly. So we'll get an easterly wind that'll warm us up throughout the day tomorrow. And you can see that wind will stay out of the east until about noon, and then it switches back with that sea breeze developing. So temperatures right near the coast, we'll see highs there basically into the upper 70s. Inland areas will be into the mid 80s east away from that sea breeze. Well, you'll get a chance to spot the International Space Station tonight. It will be moving from the southwest, traversing across our skies to the northeast. And that'll happen just after 8 o'clock tonight. Again, from the southwest to the northeast. The duration will be at 6 minutes, so a fairly long one. It begins at 8:21. Skies should be generally fair. The maximum height will be around 70 degrees above the horizon. It will start off about a fist above the horizon, so you can hold your fist out looking off to the southwest, and that's where it will start as it makes its way across the skies, and hopefully we'll get a chance to see that. Skies are clear right now. Sarasota Braden Airport now at 78 degrees, and the dew point temperature is at 57. We have that west wind, the sea breeze at looks like 14 miles an hour at the Sarasota Braden Airport, a little higher right there on the area beaches. 79 in Jacksonville, it's 84 in Orlando now, 81 in Miami, 81 in Key West, and temperatures inland areas I mentioned 85 degrees now in Arcadia. It's 83 in Wauchula, 84 in Mayaca City, but the Gulf water temperature now at 73. So when that sea breeze kicks in, it cools things down rather quickly throughout the early afternoon. Cortez now at 75, almost 10 degrees warmer away from it. In Northport at 84 degrees. Well, the forecast for Tuesday looks great again. Highs will be in the upper 70s right along the coastline into the mid 80s inland. No threat of any rainfall at all anytime soon. And as far as the forecast goes, we are looking at generally fair conditions here right on in through Tuesday and Wednesday. And then there's that front fades away to the north. Wednesday looks good. Thursday looks good. But as we push into Friday, we start to see the beginning of a storm system developing over the southern plain states, which could bring us some much needed rain on Friday afternoon and Friday evening. So we'll talk more about that later. Winds out of the southeast turning to the west at 5 to 10 knots. Seas will be 1 to 2 feet with a light chop. On the bays and inland waters, the water temperature now at 73 degrees, and UV index will be high tomorrow for area beaches at 10. A low tide upcoming 7:45 tonight, a high at 117. Another low tide at 8:08 tomorrow, and sunrise will be at 7:45. Mostly fair, warm, 63 for your low, and northwest winds turn to the east at 5 tomorrow. Beaches a high of 77. Inland areas right around 80 degrees, a little bit warmer east of I-75. The extended forecast calling for nice weather Thursday, and then we start to see some clouds and a chance for showers. Not much on Friday. It will be breezy, and it could be a little windy too on Saturday, but they'll start to clear out, and temperatures quite nice. Scott?
Looks good. Thank you, Bob. Now to Suncoast Traffic Watch. Right now there's a crash in South Venice. It's in the eastbound lanes of US 41, and it is backing up some traffic. You can see the red there on the map, so you may want to avoid that area if possible. Haley?
Thank you, Scott. In health news tonight, a new push to fight the Zika virus. Today, Governor Rick Scott hosted a roundtable meeting with community leaders and health officials in Miami to discuss Zika preparedness. It comes ahead of Florida's rainy season when mosquitoes are most active. 29 Zika cases have been reported in Florida so far this year. The governor says while there are no Zika zones per se in Miami-Dade, people still need to watch for standing water, wear protective clothing, and use bug repellent. The Florida Department of Health has a new slogan with the message, "Fight the Bite," to raise awareness about Zika.
We're taking very aggressive steps right now. We feel that if we can knock down the mosquito population right now, we'll have fewer mosquitoes coming in the summer. But again, like everything else, it's about personal responsibility.
More than 200 people got Zika from mosquitoes in the continental U.S. last year. Most were in the Miami area. Go ahead and pour that glass of juice for your kids. According to a new report in pediatrics, children who drink 1 serving of 100% fruit juice a day do not gain significantly more weight than kids who don't drink juice at all. In this new review, researchers examined data from 8 previously published studies that involved more than 34,000 kids. They found 1 serving of that 100% fruit juice was associated with a very small amount of weight gain in kids 1 to 6 years old. And fruit juice was not linked to any weight gain in children ages 7 to 18. Coming up, mayhem at a Hong Kong mall. An escalator suddenly switches directions and speeds up at the same time. How this could have happened. Plus, a cow versus a cop. An officer has a hard time wrangling this escaped heifer, and the chase is all caught on camera.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
It is never too late to learn to protect yourself. I'm Stephanie Roberts. On Suncoast View, we learned a handheld method of self-defense. Did you know there are certain rules for retiring a U.S. flag? Goodwill is here to help. Plus, sounds of the Suncoast, money matters, and how to make heart-healthy food for families on the go with a nutrition expert in the kitchen.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
A unique celebration of a distinctive cultural gem in Sarasota. La Musica, the annual International Festival of Chamber Music, with renowned musicians from 4 continents. April 3rd through April 12th at the Sarasota Opera House and at Sainer Pavilion. Buy your tickets now.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com for Chef Judy's favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining. The official Suncoast Storm team at ABC7. We're here for you.
During the past 10 years, Tidewell Hospice volunteers have provided more than 1 million hours of service. They sit with patients, giving caregivers a break. They work in offices. They take their furry friends on pet therapy visits. They even clown around. Every task performed by a volunteer makes a difference in the lives of our patients and their families. Join Tidewell's volunteer team. They're truly 1 in a million. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make 1 monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-628-1251, 800-628-1251.
At least 1 person is dead, 3 others hurt after a fire rips through a huge residential building in Oakland, California. First responders and firefighters had to fight through intense flames and heavy smoke to rescue 15 people out of the 3-story building. 4 people were taken to hospitals with non-critical injuries. About 50 to 60 people live in the building. Residents say the fire may have been caused by a burning candle, but fire officials say that cause has not yet officially been determined.
No idea of cause right now. The investigators have to get in and do their investigation and also talk with occupants of the building to complete their investigation.
Residents are being cared for by the Red Cross. The fire comes about 4 months after another fire in Oakland killed 36 people at a warehouse. Now to a terrifying incident caught on camera at a Hong Kong shopping mall. Take a look here. An escalator that was full of people was heading upwards, suddenly went into reverse and picked up speed. This all happened Saturday afternoon. The fast switch caused dozens of shoppers to lose their balance and fall to the ground. At least 18 people were hurt. A spokesperson for the mall says the escalator has been in service for years with a fine record of operation. It passed an inspection just last week. The contractor for maintaining that escalator has now been asked to investigate the cause of that accident.
A cop's run-in with a cow on the loose in Texas has a tense ending when the cow hightails it out of there. Police heard there was a cow on the loose in a Temple neighborhood. The responding officer encountered the cow and followed as it fled. Once it was concerned, the officer raised the stakes by trying to shut it in, and that's when the heifer started ramming its way right there out of the fenced-in area. The cow took off again and this time was able to steer clear of authorities completely. So no word on if they have found that cow. Have no fear, fans of the Fearless Girl statue. Today, New York Mayor Bill de Blasio decided the globally popular statue of a young girl staring down Wall Street's famous charging bull will remain in place through February of 2018. The 4-foot-tall ponytailed girl in a wind-blown dress stands on the Department of Transportation property and will now get the extended permit through the department's art program. The statue was installed early this month to highlight the issue of gender disparity on corporate boards. It immediately became a tourist draw and an internet sensation. It's definitely Instagrammable, and I think it's cute that all these girls can take pictures with it and get inspiration from it.
Great symbol.
Yes, definitely. Still to come on your Suncoast News, a deadly race car accident at a Manatee County Speedway.
Look at the questions surrounding the emergency response at the track. That story coming up.
The human spirit's capacity to defy the odds, to push the envelope, is boundless.
The Sarasota Film Festival is March 31st through April 9th, featuring independent films from around the world, panels, parties, and conversations with stars, all happening in downtown Sarasota.
You don't want to miss it, so get your festival guide and choose the films and events you want to attend. Buy your tickets online, by phone, or at the Hollywood 20 box office. They go fast, so get them now.
So join us to see and be seen.
The Sarasota Film Festival is March 31st through April 9th, featuring independent films from around the world, panels, parties, and conversations with stars, all happening in downtown Sarasota.
You don't want to miss it, so get your festival guide and choose the films and events you want to attend. Buy your tickets online, by phone, or at the Hollywood 20 box office. They go fast, so get them now.
So join us to see and be seen.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com for Chef Judy's favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
The Lax coming to the White Buffalo Saloon April 1st. Visit the WBSaloon.com.
The human spirit's capacity to defy the odds, to push the envelope, is boundless.